Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Will and welcome to Copper Jacket TV. So I wanted to make a quick video today to clear up some confusion around AB 1127, which is better known as California's Glock ban. There are a lot of different dates that are associated with this bill. People are wondering, when is the last day that I can actually get something? Even shops are confused. There has been no alert that's been sent out, no notification, nothing's gone out to shops from the California DOJ as of yet. So even they're in the dark. I just got off the phone with my buddy Julian over at 308 Industries over in Palmdale, California. And we talked for probably a good 45 minutes about this exact topic. And I've got some dates that I want to share with you guys so you understand exactly what's going on and when the last effective dates are. So we're just going to go ahead and clear the air. So let's get to it. Now, real quick before we get started, I got an update for you in regards to the Attorneys on Retainer program. As many of you know, this channel is proudly sponsored by Attorneys on Retainer, who is backed by Attorneys for Freedom, the only law firm in the entire country that does nothing but self-defense cases. So if you're somebody who carries to defend yourself or your loved ones, or maybe you just keep something in your home for your own defense, having an Attorneys on Retainer membership should be part of your self-defense plan. Because heaven forbid you find the need to defend yourself, you don't want to be flipping through the yellow pages to try and find an attorney and wondering if it's going to bankrupt you. If you're an Attorneys on Retainer member, you just call the number on the back of that card, and included in your monthly membership fee, you're going to get an actual attorney giving you instant attorney-client privilege, and they will be there to defend you. Now, AOR is going through some program changes. These changes are going to be taking effect on January 1st of 2026, so in just 2.5 months. Now, those program changes are also going to include some increases in fees. So if you guys want to get in now and have your price locked in until 2030, this is the time to do it. You have until December 31st to sign up for AOR's program, and your price is locked in until 2030, and you will get all of the benefits and all of the changes that are coming to AOR. They're always adding new stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. So like I said in the beginning, there's a lot of confusion about AB 1127, and I know I talked about this topic ad nauseum at this point, and I apologize for that. But with all this confusion, it has people wondering what the hell's going on. The DOJ has not been very forthcoming, especially to shops who've received pretty much no communication about this whatsoever. There's not been any alerts, there's not been any memos or anything that's been sent out, at least at this point. And so they're kind of in the dark about this as well. They're stuck to reading it themselves and trying to get a basic understanding of what's going on. And there are multiple dates listed in this bill that are going to have different starting points for different things depending on what exactly it is that you're looking for. And so we need to clarify what these dates are so that people know exactly what to expect. And make sure you stay tuned to the end, because I'm going to give you a little bit of inside information that I got from my buddy Julian that kind of tells you what you might expect following the beginning of this year. And I think it's kind of important to have a good understanding of that. So the first thing I want to say is, again, there's several dates. The first date that we have that we need to look out for is January 1st of 2026. So what happens on January 1st? Well, on January 1st of 2026 is when shops in California will no longer be able to acquire Glocks in the state. So they're not going to be able to get them from distributors anymore. They're not going to be able to get them at all, unless it's going to be, for law enforcement or one of those, special exempted classes. But for the general public, they're not going to be able to have anything shipped into the state for that purpose anymore. That's it. January 1st is the end of that. Now, California gave them a little bit of time in order to get rid of some of their inventory, and that's why we have January 1st and July 1st. So as of July 1st, 2026, whatever they have left in their inventory is it, because on that date, they will no longer be able to transfer their existing inventory to people of California. So nobody's going to be able to get anything from a shop after July 1st. Now, the problem is that if your shop is not able to acquire anything before January 1st, they're pretty much going to be out of luck starting on January 1st. So if you notice they don't have anything in stock on January 5th, that means they're not going to have any more stock because the shop's not going to be able to get anything new. Now, the third date that we need to talk about here is January 1st of 2027. So anything that was already on the roster before January 1st of 2026 has until January 1st of 2027 to make any changes that they need to make in order to get put back on the roster. If they make those changes prior to January 1st of 2027, they'll be able to get on the roster without having to go through all of the different hoops that they had to go through prior to that. So again, that's kind of a different side of things, but still we have January 1st, which is the day that shops won't be able to get them anymore, July 1st, which is the date that people in California won't be able to get them anymore, and then January 1st of 27, which is the last day that companies will have to make any necessary changes. Now, after talking to my buddy over at 308 Industries, I realized that there's another problem, and that other problem is that distributors are already pretty much out. They have very little to no inventory. He said that he has checked across this country, multiple locations, and he's not really able to find much, if anything at all. And so trying to get enough so that you can make it till that July point is proving to be very, very difficult. And that's going to be a big problem for everybody because everybody pretty much uses the same places to try and bring that stuff in. In California, if something's on the roster, you have to get that exact SKU. It has to be that exact SKU. That's the only thing that's allowed in the state because that SKU is linked to the roster itself. And so trying to find something else from some other country or whatever and bringing that in, that's not possible because the SKU is different. And if the SKU is different, it's not allowed in the state, and that's a big problem. And so you have to acquire it in a traditional way that you were getting them before. And if they're out, they're out. And right now there's this kind of big panic that's happening and places are getting whatever they can get their hands on. And so it's kind of difficult to find. And so you have to try and understand that there might be a good chance here that come January 1st, there's not going to be much that's going to be available at all. Now, the other thing too is that he's told me that he tried to communicate with the DOJ, who has typically gotten back to him fairly quickly. Their representative over there has been pretty good about getting back to them. And it's been so busy with calls into the DOJ, and you know, they've been inundated, but because of this new bill, I'm sure with questions and stuff like that, that they're not getting back to people. They're just not getting back to people. And if they are, it's taking a long time to get back to them. So again, these places are left in the dark. They don't know what's going on. They can't get a hold of any, representative over there. They're trying to get answers. The distributors are pretty much running out. And we have what, 2.5 months? 2.5 months until they're not able to bring anything else in. That's not a lot of time, especially if you consider, how long it actually takes to get there, right? So this is just turning into a nightmare. I mean, it's a complete mess. It's a complete mess. It's a nightmare. It's going to affect a lot more than that one brand, I can tell you that. Anything that has that cruciform style on it is going to be affected by this. And again, it's not just that one brand. There's going to be a lot that's going to be off the roster thanks to this. And so what a headache. I mean, it's just every single year, it's something else in that state. The unconstitutional shenanigans that happen over there are just becoming out of control at this point. I know you guys got a big, election coming up and there's a lot of things going on, but it's going to take a lot of work to get that place back up and running again and be the constitutional state that it needs to be. Because I for one, know that there's a lot of good people out there and a lot of people who would like to see a change to a more, constitutional and conservative platform in the state. And hopefully one day it happens, because this is getting out of hand now. This is getting ridiculous. The right foot doesn't even know what the left foot is doing anymore, and people don't have answers to the questions that need to be answered. So again, I just wanted to make this video to kind of clarify some dates, let you guys know what's going on, and maybe give you some behind the scenes and let you know that things aren't going very well there either. So just a quick heads up. Now might be the time. I wouldn't consider waiting until after January. Anyway, I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button. It's always appreciated. Subscribe is a great way to support the channel, and you all have a great day.